What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Moose. I wanted to share a message with you guys. I wanted to share the story of my mother's passing. My mother's name was Judy Mae Rogers. She died April 21st, 2004. One day, on a Monday morning, I woke up just like any other day, but it was super early. It had to have been like 3 or 4 something in the morning. I came out of the room. I seen my mother was up. Man, she was like really up. And it took me by a little surprise because she usually sleep around that time. But she was up. And I went to talk to her. And man, we were talking for a long time. We was talking about just about everything. And man, I loved it. I mean, we were talking and laughing and joking, and we were telling each other that we love each other and all this other stuff. And anyone who knows me knows exactly what I'm talking about, because my mother was a very loving individual. So she gets up to get herself ready for work, and as she begins to go to the bathroom to wash up or shower, whatever she's doing, she's getting ready for work, I hear a big thump. I mean, a loud thump. At the time, I'm thinking that maybe she just dropped something, because, that happened quite often. But then I said, something wrong. I hear some type of breathing. I got up and she was laying on the floor. Her body was halfway in the bathroom and halfway outside of the door. So I rushed over. I said, "Ma, are you okay?" And I seen a look on her face that I've never seen before. She couldn't breathe, and she was breathing so hard and wheezing, and her eyes was like rolling into the back of her head. So I tried to get her up. I used all my strength that I had, and I picked her up and I drug her a little bit in the hallway just so she can get out of, the bathroom doorway. And when I got her up, she fell straight back down. She fell straight back down, so I used all of my strength and I drug her all the way to the couch. Now, remind you, this is just me there. I didn't have any brothers there. I didn't have any sisters there. I didn't have any cousins, any aunts, uncles. It was just me. So this is my testimony, what I've been through. So with that being said, I drug her to the couch, and she couldn't really talk, and she was wheezing. She was it looked more like she was having a seizure, but not a seizure. I really didn't know what was going on, and I tried to give her some water. She couldn't drink anything, so I went ahead and called the ambulance. They took her to PG Hospital. I still went to school that day because I know she probably would still want me to go to school, even though I was worried. But I couldn't function, couldn't do anything, and I was just so ready to leave. As soon as I get out of school, I go around Palmer Park and where I used to live, and I was just letting people know, what was going on. And I went over to this good brother's house. His name was Brother Greg, and he was a really good guy. Kind of took me under his wing and taught me a lot of things that I know today. And I went over there and I told him what was going on, and he didn't even hesitate. He got his stuff together and he took me to PG Hospital. And when I got to PG Hospital, I didn't even know that my mother was making calls to people. And so many people showed up. I mean, aunts, uncles, cousins, and brothers, and church family. I mean, my mother knew church people, church family from all the way in North Carolina, Baltimore. They were coming down just to see if my mother was all right, and it really did something to me. So I'm like, wow, they really came down here. And there was so many of us that we were sitting in our own waiting room. There was so many of us up in there. Like, wow. And to this day, I know that my mother was waiting on me. Like I know that she was waiting on me because I was the last one to show up. And when I showed up, I walked into the room. I was talking a little bit, and I hugged her and I kissed her, and again, that look she was giving me, I've never seen before. My mother had, she was going up and down the hospital all the times, and out of all those times, I never seen the look I saw on those days. And her very last words to me was, she looked at me with tears in her eyes and with so much love that it couldn't have came from nowhere but God. And she looked at me. Nobody was in the room but me and Brother Greg at the time. And she looked at me and she said, Brian, I love you and thank you for saving my life. That was my mother's very last words to me. She said, thank you, Brian, for saving my life. And I love you. And it did something to me. Because I knew that would be the last time I saw her. You understand what I'm telling you? I knew what was being taken place, but didn't want to accept it. I knew. God had revealed it to me before. So, fast forward a little bit to Tuesday. Tuesday, my brothers came and picked me up. I was living in Courage Hill. They came and picked me up after school. We went back down to the hospital. And come Tuesday, my brother didn't tell me once we got there because I guess he didn't want me to be upset. But he said that our mother had fell into a coma. And she could hear me, but she couldn't say anything. So I'm like, wow, okay. So I went up to the room, and man, the stuff I seen, it still hurts me to this day. I mean, she was strapped up to so many machines, and they cut a hole into her head and put something in her head. And I said, wow. And that did something to me. And we're going to fast forward a little bit to Wednesday. So we go to the hospital like we have been for the last 2 days at that time. And when we get there, of course, we sit in the waiting room. We still waiting on results. And then the doctors brought us into the room. From there, I already knew what was happening. You know, I was only about 13 or 14 at the time. I was a freshman in high school, but I knew what was going on. So we get into the room, and they tell us that they tried to revive her. They tried to see if she can breathe without the machine, but she didn't make it. Even when I knew what was going on, when I heard those words, it broke me. It really broke me. The very first time I've ever received a heartbreak. Well, I think I take that back the second time. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because not a lot of people know what I battle with sometimes. Sometimes the vision still haunts me sometimes. You know, my brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles, they don't have to deal with that because they didn't see it, but I did. But they say what don't kill you make you stronger. And I just feel so blessed to be for Judy Mae Rogers to show me love, care, compassion, and just to be all that she could be for us. This was her. Judy Mae Rogers. One of the greatest people I've ever met in my entire life. She was a loving, caring mother. And I love her and I miss her. She was awesome. So with that being said, anybody who still have their parents around, make sure you tell them that you love them. Make sure you show them that you care. Hug them, kiss them, because you just never know when their last days on earth will be. I love you. God bless you. And I pray that God continues to work miracles in your lives. This is Brian Javon Rogers, a.k.a. Moose. Thank you for listening to my story. And God bless you.